Imagine starting your life's work at the age of 54. Most people are planning their retirement, but Torstein Hagen was just getting started. He bought 4 old ships and turned them into a billion-dollar empire. Today, he's worth over $18 billion, but his path to the top is paved with boardroom betrayals, shattered dreams, and a revenge so sweet it took 30 years to complete. Welcome to the saga of the Viking King. This is the story of Torstein Hagen. Our story begins in 1943 in Norway. World War II was raging, but in a small town outside Oslo called Nittedal, a future titan of industry was born. Torstein was a bright kid with a curious mind. He wasn't just interested in ships, but in how the world worked. One of the most charming stories from his childhood comes from his love of stamp collecting. As a 14-year-old in 1957, he sent a letter to the end of the world, Ushuaia, Argentina, just to get a stamp. He mailed it to his sister and wrote, "Return to sender," on it. He says, "I'm good at long-range planning." And he proved it because 65 years later, as a multi-billionaire, he finally visited Ushuaia with his childhood letter in hand and got it stamped again. He stood there and said, "What a life!" This shows his incredible patience and his deep-seated romanticism for travel, which would later define his company. But he didn't just dream about stamps. Torstein was a genius. He earned a degree in physics from the Norwegian Institute of Technology, where his master's thesis was on artificial intelligence and machine learning. This was the 1960s. He was a tech visionary before it was cool. He then won a Fulbright scholarship to study in the US and snagged an MBA from Harvard Business School in 1968. Chapter 2: The Rise, Fall, and Revenge Career History. With that Ivy League pedigree, Hagen joined McKinsey and Company as a consultant, eventually becoming a partner. But it was in 1974 that he got his first taste of the cruise industry. He was brought in to save Holland America Line from near bankruptcy. He succeeded, and his reputation was made. He quickly climbed the ranks. He became CEO of Bergen Steamship Company in 1976 and then, the big one, CEO of the prestigious Royal Viking Line in 1980. This was the pinnacle of luxury cruising. He was on top of the world. But then, disaster struck. Hagen attempted a leveraged buyout of Royal Viking Line. It failed. In 1984, he was forced to resign. He was 41 years old. He was out. Imagine losing the company you were running because you wanted to own it. It was a public humiliation. He joined the board of Holland America Line later, but the sting of that loss was deep. He even tried his hand at other shipping ventures. He acquired a 27% stake in Nittedal in the early 90s, but lost money when he sold. It was a tough decade. But this is where the story gets good. The man who lost Royal Viking Line was about to build a bigger empire than anyone could imagine. In 1997, at the age of 54, with the wisdom of his failures, he founded Viking River Cruises. He bought 4 ships and started offering cruises on the rivers of Russia. He focused on a niche, English-speaking travelers over 55 who wanted culture, not casinos and waterslides. He focused on thinking people. Over the next 2 decades, Torstein Hagen's revenge was calculated and relentless. He bought more ships, perfected the river cruise model, and expanded onto the oceans in 2015. In 2014, he set a Guinness World Record by christening 16 ships in just 2 days. Today, Viking owns over 100 ships. And the irony? Who owns the ships? Torstein Hagen does. Through a clever system of special shares, he controls Viking Holding with about 87% of the voting power. He owns the fleet, the rivers, and the oceans. Chapter 3: The Fortune, Money, and Wealth. So, how did Torstein Hagen make his money? It's a combination of business acumen and strategic sales. In 2016, he sold a 23% stake in Viking to TPG Capital for a cool $672 million. But the big payday came in May 2024, when he took Viking public on the New York Stock Exchange, raising over $1.5 billion. So, how much is Torstein Hagen worth? Well, you may have seen different numbers, and that's because wealth fluctuates. According to Forbes, as of 2026, his net worth is estimated at a staggering $22.2 billion. He is the 122nd richest person in the world. Reports from Norwegian financial news show his wealth has actually been growing, reaching as high as $14 billion recently. He has the kind of money that buys you a fleet of cruise ships and the ability to fulfill a childhood fantasy 65 years later. Chapter 4. The Captain of the Ship Leadership and Transition. In May 2026, a massive change happened. Torstein Hagen stepped down as CEO, transitioning to executive chairman. He handed the reins to Nittedal, a 20-year Viking veteran who was crucial in taking the company public. Many wondered if his daughter, Torstein Hagen, would take over. Torstein is the face of Viking, often appearing in promotional videos, and she heads the product division. But Hagen chose the person with the best experience for the job, proving the business is more important than a family dynasty. Chapter 5. The Man Behind the Empire Personal Life. What about his personal life and love life? He was married to Torstein Hagen, but the couple divorced in 2017. He has 2 children, including Torstein. He is very private. He lives quietly in Lucerne, Switzerland. His primary love, it seems, has always been his business. He is a philanthropist in his own way, offering curated cultural experiences to his guests, but he maintains a private life. Torstein Hagen's life is a masterclass in resilience. He suffered the ultimate professional humiliation, was forced out of his dream job, and could have faded into obscurity. Instead, he waited, learned, and came back stronger than anyone could have imagined. At 83, he built an empire, avenged his career, and proved that it's never too late to start again. He owns the rivers. He owns the oceans. And he did it all his way. What do you think is the secret to his success? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.